The night is so mysterious, isn't it? He thinks about it, and he's not afraid. He's not in a hurry, and he's not worried about anything. He sees something bigger than himself in the stillness. He sees the truth, and he doesn't try to control it. He just lets himself be. The wise men talked about a hidden light a long time ago. The ancient wise men talked about a hidden light after the appearance of the world. They said that reality is viable as the water in the hands of someone who knows the art of molding it. It is not superstition, but a force that has been mentioned in all cultures. Creator, verb, the vibrant thought intention as a foundation of the visible has said that the universe is mind. Their words woven in the breath of spirit are more than simple sounds. They are keys, stamps, and decrees. You are here, in this moment, because you decided to be. The heart that understands this law is the party that is appointed. Stop being a slave to destiny because the destination is something you create. Many have heard these truths and yet continue to be trapped in the labyrinths of doubt. The human mind is a paradox, it is the instrument of creation. You are here for a reason, and your purpose is to understand the laws that govern existence. Stop being a slave to destiny because the destination is something you create. Many have heard these truths, but it's not enough to just know them. The human mind is a paradox, it's both the greatest tool for creation and the greatest obstacle to it. There's a threshold that few know, and crossing it isn't about effort, but about aligning with the forces that support existence. This book isn't just a promise or a list of statements without substance. It's a journey, a tour of the paths of conscious manifestation, transformation of the mind, and awakening. There's a hidden power in each of us. They share magical formulas because magic isn't held back by words. Instead, it's revealed through universal principles that help us understand ourselves and our reality. It's no coincidence that you've hidden your teachings in symbols, stories, and riddles. Wisdom isn't delivered as, and we're so excited to tell you that your object has been delivered. But, we've got to let you know that there's a little secret, you've got to awaken it from inside. If you're the kind of person who knows how to read beyond the surface, then we've got great news for you. You're going to find so much more than just knowledge in these pages. You're going to see a reflection of its own truth, an echo of something that has always been there, waiting to be remembered. Every word acts as a seed, and each chapter opens a threshold. The mind that enters this path doesn't just look for answers, but the journey to discovering the key to forging the trip begins now. In the old schools of wisdom, there was a beautiful belief that everything that exists in the world began with a thought. Before the world was even a twinkle in the universe's eye, there was a single idea. Before you found your place in space, there was a vibration. Creation is not something that happened in the past, but it's a constant process, a pulse that never stops throughout history. The greatest teachers have always insisted on a truth that will always resonate in your heart. That's what it means to be human. It seems like the world keeps forgetting, over and over again, that the outside is just a reflection of the inside. What we believe in our hearts, what we truly know, starts to show up in our emotions. And, without a doubt, it becomes real. This isn't just some superstition or dogma. It's a law, and like every law, it works every time. It's totally normal not to understand the problem. Most of us don't choose our thoughts. We repeat them, we don't create our destiny, we don't build our reality, we don't model our reality. We receive, we decree, we don't know what we're thinking, what we're creating, what we're feeling. So, the power that should be a transformation instrument becomes an uncontrollable whirlwind. It's a force that seems to act against the place of in favor, but what would happen if this force was channeled consciously? If we refined our thoughts? Hey, why not try becoming a tool of precision? That way, the word won't just be an empty expression, but a reality. Remember, unwavering isn't enough. It's not about wishing for the key to be in alignment. It's about finding the perfect balance between your mind, your actions, and your energy. That's where the challenge lies. We've all been taught to live in contradiction, right? Like, we yearn for abundance but are afraid of losing what we have. We say we seek love, but deep down, we feel unworthy. We cry out for freedom, but end up trapped in chains. But here's the good news, the transformation begins in your conscience. You don't have to struggle to understand this book. It's all about understanding, and understanding can really light up your world. This book isn't a manual or a list of steps to follow. It's more like a path drawn with words, an invitation to the art of manifestation. As you read it, you'll discover that the reality is more flexible than I imagined, that barriers are just illusions sustained by expired beliefs, and that the key to change has always been in your own hands. The question isn't if you can create your reality. The question is, if you're ready to take responsibility for yourself, then the doors to knowledge are open. There's true magic in your thoughts. Take care of yourself. Words written by listening to your subconscious. We've noticed that more than 0% of our channel visitors aren't subscribed. If you're able to support this project, we'd love it if you'd press the subscribe button and give the video a like. Your support inspires us to create more and better content for you. You're ready to transform your life. Deception and beliefs limiting. There's a wall that doesn't see a fence without bars, holding those who live within it. It's not made of stone or iron, but of thoughts woven together in the shadows of custom. Those who have spent too much time inside have lost sight of the outside world, and they no longer try to leave because they are confused about what's outside. There's a wall that doesn't see a fence with bars, and it keeps people from leaving. It's not made of stone or iron, but of thoughts woven together. People who have spent a lot of time there can't seem to leave because it's all mixed up. Since ancient times, different traditions have been talking about this subtle prison, using different names for it. In Vedic wisdom, it's called Maya. In Egypt, it's the Veil of Isis. In Greek philosophy, it's Plato's cavern, and in modern stories, it's known as the Matrix. But all these metaphors are pointing to the same thing, the human mind's ability to create. Since the dawn of time, cultures around the world have been talking about this idea of a more ethereal prison, using different names for it, the Maya in Vedic wisdom, the Veil of Isis in Egypt, Plato's cavern in Greek philosophy, or the Matrix in modern stories. But these metaphors are all pointing to the same thing: our own minds have the power to create a stronger confinement than any strength because the stuff it's made of is belief. And belief, in turn, shapes what we call truth. A monk named Jesus shared a story about a man who spent all night searching for his key in the light of a lantern. A passenger, seeing him in the dark, stopped to offer help. "Where did you lose it?" he asked. "Inside," the man replied, pointing inside. A strong conviction that can't be broken, like the unwavering faith of a monk. There's a story of a man who spent a night searching for his key in the light of a lantern. A passenger, seeing him in the dark, asked, "Where did you lose it?" "In my house," the man replied. "Then why are you looking for it here, outside?" The other insisted. "Because it's here," La said with a warm smile. Life is like that. We look for things in different places, but the truth is always within us. Our mind enlightens what is real, but the key was never lost. "Why are you looking for her here when you could be looking for her at his house?" Laz asked with a warm smile. "Because she's here. The most important thing is to be aware of what's around you. Your vision and your mind can only see what's in front of you, but that's not the whole story. But few people dare to go beyond the darkness and see what's inside. We're all shaped by the rules we're taught when we're young. We learn life lessons that have been passed down for generations. But maybe those lessons aren't as helpful as we think. Sometimes, the things we see in life aren't as simple as they seem. They might be shadows on the wall. Money can corrupt, and to be loved, you have to sacrifice. They say that's the only way to succeed. But what if there's more to reality than that? What if the world we live in is shaped by those who never dare to make mistakes? The doubt is like a crack that you can't see. It's like a question that comes up between the usual thoughts. You might wonder, is this really true? And then the crack gets bigger, and the structure that seemed solid starts to waver. The mind that used to repeat what it learned without question starts to question the voices that shaped her. And at that point, you might start to feel afraid because taking away a belief is how you withdraw support from a tree. Its roots shake, and its stability is in danger. The certainty disappears, and you feel dizzy. For that reason, many people prefer to stay in prison because they are afraid of what's outside it, the cage. Sometimes, our freedom can feel small, like a single flame in the night. But when we feel it spreading, we know it's time to let go and embrace the unknown. There's a moment when the prison becomes unbearable, not because of its size, but because we know we were born to something bigger. And then, what happens? It's time to face ourselves. There are no external chains or guards holding us back. Just one habit, one idea, so deeply ingrained that it's become part of who we are. When we open our eyes and see clearly, the prison disappears, like the mist in the sunlight. Perhaps the wise ones of old didn't speak the whole truth. Words knew that all teaching imposed is just a new cell in your place, left open questions that erosion ability does not open immediately. Ask first who built at that moment, and everything changes. If the door was built, it means that it can be undone. And if it can be undone, then it was not a real barrier but a shadow in the awareness. Some prisons collapse with the wind of a single question, while others do so with the strength of a truth seen with absolute clarity. In all cases, the key has always been in the same place, within he who dared look for it. Chapter 2, Breaking the Cycle of the Self-Destruction is an echo that resonates in each of us. It's a pattern that repeats, a shadow that lengthens in time. If you stop and observe your life with the alchemist's eyes, you'll see that your falls have not been accidents. They're woven sequences with the same threads, invisible as the river that always returns to the same channel. It's like the traveler who, without realizing it, takes the same path again and again. Our human minds tend to rebuild their own ruins, even without wanting to. This is said in the old traditions. The gods weave destinies, and the soul descends to matter. But sometimes, we get a little confused about the structure of tissue. That's when we get caught up in a network of strands from past lives or early in the worldview of the Maya. This pattern was the Nayul, the energy that accompanies each being and can be their blessing or their burden. In mythology, the Nordic thread was the thread in the great Erdimber. In the Kabbalah, the tikkun is the correction of the fracture of the soul. But what does it mean to break the self-destruction is not an act of force. A cry of rebellion is not the denial of the past. Fighting against destiny starts with understanding that what is repeated is simply a reflection of your own vibration. Life, like water, does not retain anything, it simply returns what is projected onto your surface. I once dreamed of escaping my village with a man. He felt suffocated by the monotony, repetition of faces, voices, and streets. One day, he sold everything he possessed and set off on a trip to a distant land. Mountains and rivers, deserts and cities, each place was unique, yet the same conflicts, fears, and obstacles awaited me. After many years, finally, I found rest under a tree in a place that seemed similar to the one I had left. It was then that I understood, I had never been running away from a place, but from myself. The world around us is like a mirror of our minds. If we run from our circumstances without changing our thoughts, we are like a reflection without a face destruction cycle. No. It's all about escape, but in unraveling the root of the repetition. The mystics were taught that each unresolved emotion returns in the form of a destination. What we don't resolve in our hearts and minds is projected into the world around us. What we fear attracts what we reject. That's why he doesn't look inside himself. He's condemned to repeat your history as an actor trapped in a work that doesn't remember having written it. But repetition is only one cycle. Until it becomes a portal, because within each pattern there's a hidden key, if you can see it clearly. Every stumbling is an invitation to awakening. Instead of running away, ask questions. Instead of cursing, decide to slide. You'll discover that everything that seemed like a curse was actually a map. In Hermetic texts, it's said, as is above, it is down. What is inside is outside. The fracture is not in the world, but in your perception, and when your mind changes. The universe is like a big, warm hug, responding to our vibrations. Change is like a traveler, and when we open our eyes, we realize that the chains we thought were holding us back were actually just veils. These veils, though, can be broken, and when we do, we're able to touch the light of knowledge. We don't need to be broken, we just need to fade. Chapter 3, Our emotions are like little kids, trapped in the past and needing to be released and healed. But healing and releasing the past isn't a linear journey. It's a journey for the mind, and it's a journey for our heart. Everything that once felt, everything that wasn't released, is still there, waiting for us to embrace it. It's in there, waiting for the right moment to come out. Nothing's lost, just hidden. And what's hidden late or early claims its place. Trapped emotions are like echoes of stories left unfinished, like notes in a melody that never made it to the deepest part of your mind. They keep repeating in different ways, attracting circumstances that reflect them. It's like a hope to be released. An unleashed resentment becomes the same conflict, but with different names. When you're feeling afraid, it can feel like that fear is coming from outside, like a barrier. It's like a pain that we don't really understand, but it's there. The ancient Egyptians knew something important about the body. It's like a temple for our soul. If you look at Egyptian memories, you'll see that they talked about this idea of Kal energy, which is like a double that stores your face impression. In Taoist tradition, they saw our organs as these places where we store our emotions. For example, sadness in the lungs will go to the fear in the kidneys. These weren't just metaphors, but real maps of the vibrations inside us. What we don't express tends to crystallize. When we meet in person, we can finally let go of what we've been holding on to. But healing isn't about ignoring the pain or pushing away what's still hurting. It's about letting the light of truth in, even if it's hard. In Sufi teachings, there's a story of a traveler who's carrying a heavy load from his past. He goes to a wise person, hoping to find some relief. As I shared, I said, I feel the weight of what I was, no matter how far I go. The wise person listened in silence for a moment, and then gently guided him to a well. A dry look inside the well told him. The traveler looked at his face, and the darkness that filled the well with what you carry was all on his shoulders. The wise person, the traveler, emptied his heart, releasing the words he hadn't said, the wounds he hadn't dealt with, and the grudges he hadn't released. I said, I feel the weight of what I was, no matter how far I go. The wise one listened in silence for a moment, then gently guided him to a well. A dry look in his eyes told him the story of his travels. He looked at his face, and the darkness of his past filled the well with what he carried. The wise one asked him to look again, and in the water that now reflected his face, he understood that his past was not the problem. He realized that forgiveness is not an act towards the other, it is an act of self-healing. It does not justify what was done to us, but it sets us free. The wise one said, "Hey, let me ask you something. If you look again in the water, you'll see that it's not your past that's chasing you. It's just a reflection of how it doesn't want to let go. When you forgive someone, you're not just doing it for them, you're also freeing yourself. It's like you're letting go of a prison that you're stuck in, because when you keep holding on to something, it's like you're reliving it over and over again. But there's a moment when your soul just understands how the snow gives into the sun, or how a river becomes an ocean when it lets go of its shores. And that's when everything just clicks into place. From prison, from what no longer exists, but the mind will relive it as an echo, endless. And what is revived comes back to the present. But there is a moment in which the soul understands how the snow that surrenders before the sun becomes the river that, when letting go, becomes an ocean. In that moment, everything that seemed fixed becomes light, and the weight of time becomes wind. In the Gnostic Gospels, it is said that if you get what is within you, that will save you. If you don't know that, you will be destroyed. Release is not forgetting, it is returning to the universe. What no longer belongs to the present is allowing memory to transform wisdom and emotion into freedom. That which was fixed becomes light, and the weight of time becomes wind. In the Gnostic Gospels, they say that if you get what's inside you, that will save you. If you don't know that, you will be destroyed. To release is to return to the universe. What no longer belongs to the present is allowing memory to transform wisdom and emotion into freedom. Because what is not released is tar, and what is released is no longer tied to the past. There is no more powerful bond than the one that does not see. The threads of the past are not made of chains that you can see, but of enthusiasm deep in being. Every thought that comes to a painful memory is a loop that reinforces the prison, but what many ignore is that it is not the event that what we don't release doesn't harm us. There's no more powerful bond than the one that doesn't see. The threads of the past aren't made of chains you can see, but of enthusiasm deep in being. Every thought that comes to a painful memory is a loop that reinforces the prison. But what many people ignore is that it's not the event that imprisons. It's the emotion that vibrates inside the memory alone. It can't harm you. It's the energy trapped in it that persists, claiming to be released. Ancient wise people talked about the fire of the spirit as the only force capable of transmute pain into light. Throw your car on fire and observe what remains. They said alchemists, but the fire of which it's not the physical pain that hurts, but the emotional pain that we feel. It's the energy trapped in our memories. Ancient wise people talked about the fire of the spirit as the only force capable of transforming pain into light. Throw your heart on fire and see what remains. They said alchemists, but the fire they talked about is not physical. It's deep understanding. It's clarity that dissolves the shadow. It's not about burning the memory, but seeing through it with a new perspective. A man came to a Buddhist temple one day looking for answers. He had suffered a great betrayal, and although the years had passed, he still felt the same wound in his chest. He tried to forgive, but every time. Talking is not physical, it's deep understanding and clarity that dissolves the shadow. It's not about burning the memory, but rather seeing through it with a new perspective. One day, a man came to a Buddhist temple looking for answers. He had suffered a great betrayal, and although the years had passed, he still felt the same wound in his chest. He tried to forgive, but every time, he felt pain return. How could he release what he knew? Avoid me. The teacher looked calmly and gave him a glass full of water. The man obeyed, releasing his arm. As time passed, the weight of the glass began to feel unbearable. My arm hurts, the man said. Because you're holding it too tightly, the teacher replied. I tried to let go of the pain, to release what I know. I tried to avoid him, but the teacher looked calmly and gave him a glass full of water. Support this, the man obeyed. My arm hurt, and the minute passed, and the weight of the glass began to feel unbearable. My arm hurt, and the man asked the teacher, why? Because I keep holding it, he replied exactly. The whys is not the or what you. Too bad is the time you have spent closing to him. Are the emotions trapped? Is not the past what hurts, but the attachment to him? Is not the wound that persists, but the decision unconscious to continue holding it? And although it seems difficult, the act of release is not a process of struggle, but of surrender. The wise one said, it's not about what you've lost, but the time you spent with him. The emotions trapped aren't the past, but the attachment to him. It's not the wound that persists, but the decision to continue holding it. Although it seems difficult, releasing isn't a process of struggle, but of surrender. It's not a titanic effort, but a whisper in the conscience that says, I no longer need to hold on to this. The universe never keeps what is released. With sincerity, but the mind, trapped in its own inertia, fears letting go of what. Identity is built on stories, and there are those who have woven their existence around your wounds. Who am I without my story? It's not a big effort, just a quiet voice in the back of your mind that says, hey, you don't have to hold on to this anymore. The universe doesn't keep what's released with sincerity. But sometimes, our minds get stuck in their own groove and they are afraid to let go of the stories we've built our identity on. There are folks out there who've woven their lives around your struggles, and they are wondering, what if I let go of the pain that's been defining me? There's a saying that the soul is like a bird, always flying free. But sometimes, we get caught up in our own stories and we forget what we really are. It's like we're birds that have been chained to the same cage, stuck in our own stories for so long. But when we dare to spread our wings and let go of those chains, we realize that the doors of that prison were never closed. They were just a release. If I let the pain that has defined the mystics teach, the soul is like a bird whose nature is flying. But many have forgotten their true nature because they carry their own narratives for too long, chained to the cage of their own stories. At the time, the bird who dares to extend his wings discovers that the doors of the prison never closed, but release. Denying it or pretending that the wound never existed, nor suppressing what once hurt, is not the answer. It's time to look at the past with new eyes, without the burden of emotion that once dyed him with pain. Transformation is possible through the learning experience of La Cicatras. Testimony of growth is knowing that what once was a peso can now be a step. Forgiveness is not about denying or ignoring the past. It's about looking at it with new eyes, without the emotional baggage that once weighed you down. To transform your past into a learning experience and a testament to your growth is to understand that what was a burden can now be a stepping stone. Forgiveness is not just a gift for the other person, it's a way of releasing yourself from the weight of the past. It's about cutting the thread that keeps the wound open, because where there's resentment, there's power. In the Sarada's texts, it's said that he who lets go of his past can move forward with ease, towards the light. A gift for the other is the key that releases the one. The gifter is not there to judge, but to cut the thread that keeps the wound open. Where there is resentment, there is also liberation, and with it comes power. In the Sarada's texts, it is said that he who lets go of his past lives again, but he who gives it to the wind walks light towards the eternity. Maybe the question is not if it is possible to release, but rather, how long do you want to continue holding on to the past? This exercise is designed to release trapped emotions and cut the energy tied to the past. With the present, we are not about forgetting, but rather, transmuting the emotional load and allowing. Have you ever thought about the question of whether it's possible to release the past? Maybe the real question is how long do you want to continue holding on to it? That's where the ritual of release comes in. It's an exercise designed to release trapped emotions and cut the energy tied up in the past. The present isn't about forgetting, but rather transforming the emotional load and allowing the experience to become wisdom. To find a space where you can be alone and undisturbed, try a quiet corner of your home, a space in nature, or even a symbolic place where you feel peaceful. If you want, you can light a candle or incense, but this isn't required. Fire has been a symbol of transformation for a long time. Many of our traditions and practices can be a great source of comfort and support. They can help us find our way to the heart of our intention. Exercise 2, take a sheet of paper and allow your thoughts to flow freely. Don't worry about censorship. Your words might be organized or chaotic, but whatever they are important. It could be a phrase, a letter, some recurring thoughts, or even names of people who have left their mark on your story. Many of our traditions and their presence can be used to anchor the intention of exercise 2. Take a sheet of paper and allow your words to flow without censorship. No matter if what you write is ordered or chaotic, whether it's phrases, letters, loose recurring thoughts, or even names of people you feel have left a brand in your story, just write from the heart. Don't write from anger or despair. Instead, write from a heartfelt intention to release as if you were emptying the water from a glass that you no longer need. Load 3, feel the emotion on your body before getting rid of the sheet. Make 1, pause, close your eyes, and carry your attention to your breathing. Later, ask yourself where I feel this emotion in my body has come from. If you're feeling angry or down, try not to let it fester. Instead, try releasing it by imagining you're draining the water from a glass you don't need anymore. Next, take a moment to really feel the emotions you're experiencing. Then, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Afterwards, ask yourself where in your body you feel this emotion. What would happen if you let it go? Try not to force anything. Just observe your feelings without judging or avoiding them. Finally, affirm the following: I recognize what was, but I don't need to hold on to it. Holding the sheet between your hands, read what you wrote, and at the end, add the following affirmation: I recognize what was, but I don't need to hold on to it. Let's take a moment to appreciate the lesson of letting go of that weight and allow our energy to flow freely today. I'm here to release the power of your words, which are more than just sounds, they're decrees that can reconfigure the vibration of your being. I'm here to undo the leaf of one-way symbolism, if you'd like. You can burn it carefully, trace it in pieces, and bury them in the earth, or just release it. I'm so grateful for this lesson on letting go. Today, I am choosing to release the weight of my energy and allow it to flow freely. I understand that the power of your words isn't just a simple sound, but a decree that can change the vibration of your being. I'm also learning to undo the leaf of one way symbolically. You can burn it carefully, trace it into pieces, and bury them in the earth, or just release it. The physical act of destroying paper is a reflection of the internal act of release, as it fades. Imagine that emotion is also dissolved. I'm closing with a new thought. Place your hands on your chest and breathe deeply. Feel light in your mind. I am free of what I was experiencing. It turns my light present into a clean, open space in my heart. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that it's totally normal to feel a bit uneasy when new things are popping up. Sometimes, it's like a journey where you're letting go of the past, and it might feel like the weight is being lifted bit by bit. You might even feel like the wound is healing and the mirror of your life is showing a new, bright chapter. In this chapter, you're learning about duty, guilt, and society. You may feel a sense of relief when new things emerge in your life. However, remember that sometimes this change can be a bit like going through a period of adjustment. It's like a process of unfolding, where you gradually realize that the past doesn't always weigh you down, that the wounds you carry don't always hurt, and that the mirror of your life reflects a new and brighter chapter. From the very first breath, we're all wrapped up in a network of expectations. We are told how to talk, how to behave, what to desire, and what not to fear. Our own essence is shaped before we can fully recognize it, and our voice is silenced before we can discover it. As a result, we become a reflection of what others expect, living in a shadow of the world. A sculpture is a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's made by hand, and it's unique. But sometimes, things don't go as planned. It's like water slowly eroding a rock, and you don't even notice it happening. When we're kids, we're free to think and laugh without worrying about what others might think. But as we grow up, we learn that some emotions aren't okay, and that's okay, too. Demanding things in a sculpture carved by hands that are not like yours. But when the authenticity doesn't happen all at once, but in a way that's as gentle as water dropping slowly, it can erode the rock until you change your form. When you're a child, you're free. Your thoughts don't know walls. Your laugh doesn't fear judgment. But little by little, you learn that some emotions are wrong, that certain dreams are impossible, that there are already roads plotted and you can't deviate from them. Love seems to depend on obedience, and what is valued is its own truth. The beliefs imposed are like silk chains that don't feel heavy. Over time, they become invisible walls that limit the expansion of being. But without them, dreams are so amazing. They're like roads that we've already been down, but we don't realize it. Love seems to depend on obedience, and we think that being approved is the most important thing. But the beliefs we're taught are like silk chains. They don't feel heavy at first, but over time, they become invisible walls that hold us back. Most people just take those chains for granted, without ever questioning them or realizing that they are not external, but internal. This is the right thing, they say. But who decided that things should be this way? Who said it's possible? The wise people of the past warned us that the greatest illusion is the one that tricks our senses, not the one that imprisons our minds. In the Corpus Hermeticum, it says that humanity sleeps in the house of mirages, taking shadows for realities. There's no greater shadow than the one cast by duty. There's a voice out there, not your own, telling you what to do, what you should look for, and what you wished for. There's a guy out there who spent his whole life carrying a backpack, but you never knew it. He started carrying it alone, and with each year, it got heavier. One day, he was walking, hunched over under all that weight, and an old man asked him, "What's going on, my friend? You look like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders." The man smiled and replied, "But everything carries a burden, so it must be." The old man opened the backpack and looked inside. He saw that it was empty, and he thought to himself, "There are so many expectations. That tired empty loads illusions, inherited fears that were never yours, but value is needed to open your backpack and look clearly." You'll recognize that many of the rules of life are not absolute truths, but unconscious beliefs sustained by custom. Authenticity is not an impulsive rebellion or a blind challenge. It is the art of remembering who is before. That the world will dictate is the courage to choose your own vibration above approval. Outside is the certainty that manifestation does not arise from conformism, but of deep alignment with the real. Hey, friend. Who are you when you're feeling afraid? Maybe you're someone who's held back by chains, or someone who's free and wild, like the characters in those esoteric texts. The key to the temple isn't found in the rules or dogmas, but in your heart, my friend. It's there that you'll find the courage to forge your own path. I know it's not my place to say, but who would you be if you stopped asking questions? Check out Chapter 5 of Fear of Trust. You were born to abundance. Fear is like the shadow of that which is unknown. It doesn't have its own substance, but it's a part of our consciousness. It feels like it weighs a ton, doesn't it? But it's not real. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. You're doubting the vibration, and your internal voice is whispering that there's not enough, that the world is scarce, and that what you want is always out of reach. But, my friend, what is fear but a prophecy of self? Hey, friend. You know how sometimes we get this feeling that there's not enough of something, like we're missing out on something great. Well, that's just our mind playing tricks on us. It's like we're afraid of what we don't have, and that fear makes us see what we don't want more clearly. It's like we're afraid of what we don't have, and that fear makes us see what we don't want more clearly. The universe doesn't listen to our words, but it does listen to the vibration behind them. Saying I want more isn't enough if we feel like we don't know. Saying money is flowing towards us isn't enough if we feel like we're losing it. All the mystical teachings of different traditions have said the same thing: what we believe in our hearts, we'll find in the world around us. In Kabbalah, it's said that have you ever thought about how reality is like a liquid mirror? What it projects, the soul solidifies in the world. In Hermeticism, it's said that what's inside is outside. The Gnostic Gospels say that the one who has the most will be given more, but the one who believes does not have even little, he has will be removed. The fear of lack is the lack of lack. The same belief in the fight is the reason why life becomes a constant battle. But the truth is that another abundance conquest allows is not a distant goal, but a right. Innate is not obtained through agonizing effort, but through alignment with the certainty that it is already present. It is said that a teacher named Zen reached his young disciple to a river and asked him to take water with his hands. The young man tried, but every time he clenched his fingers, the water escaped. Only when he relaxed his palms and allowed the water to rest gently in them could he hold it. The teacher smiled and said, "It is the abundance that approaches with fear. It loses those who trust without effort because abundance is not a matter of luck or privilege. It is a frequency that is everywhere, but it is only visible to those who. It's all about the air around you, right before you spread your wings. The river's already there, even before Lady comes to you. The question isn't about whether there's plenty, but whether you're in the right mindset to receive a quantum leap towards inner security. It's not about the external world changing, but your mind changing. Your perception isn't reality. It's consciousness that observes it. And when fear disappears, the abundance that was always there, visible in the Vedic texts, becomes visible. The universe is like a magical ocean of gold. If you know how to drink from it, you'll see your cup overflowing with joy and abundance. The key to unlocking this abundance might seem like effort, struggle, or sacrifice, but it's actually quite simple. The true key is trust. Trust in the universe, trust that what you seek is already yours, and trust that the only thing you need to do is receive it. Abundance isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's a wonderful state of being, one that's not about putting in effort or waiting anxiously for something to happen. Instead, it's about having the inner confidence that it's already there. It's not something that happens in the future, but rather, it's something that's gently allowed in the aura. But, as with any beautiful thing, fear can sometimes disrupt that flow. Fear is like a stone thrown into a lake that used to reflect the sky without any distortion. It's like a vibration of rejection, a denial of what could be in favor of what is already there. You might know this feeling. It's when you resist something without realizing it. It's like you're holding back the abundance that's available to you. Everything they are afraid of strengthens that resistance because the universe responds to vibrations, not to words. If you're always afraid of running out of something, or if you're afraid of losing love, or if you're open to your vulnerabilities because you're afraid of punishment, then you're not allowing yourself to receive the abundance that's available to you. It's not that you're being punished, it's just that you're not allowing yourself to receive the support that's available to you. When you let yourself feel something strong, like trust, it can open doors you never knew were there. You might think trust is the opposite of optimism, or that it's not being realistic. But trust is really being in sync with the world around you. It's like believing that life is this amazing journey where we're always getting what we need. We just have to trust that it's there, waiting for us to take it. But to trust, you have to let go of the tight grip we sometimes have on things. You have to let go of the fear that holds us back. It's totally normal to feel a bit unsure about the importance of taking action. Your mind might play tricks on you, making you see barriers where there are just doors. But, doubt can also be a part of certainty. And it's important to remember that the biggest leap towards feeling secure doesn't happen because of what's going on around you. It happens when you change how you see things inside. And remember, abundance doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. It's not about waiting for something to happen from the outside. It's about tuning into the abundance that's already there. It's a process of reprogramming our thoughts, replacing scarcity-based beliefs with affirmations of enough. It's about turning our concerns into gratitude and our anxiety into openness. It's about remembering that what we seek is already present in some way, and that the only thing we need to do is open to receive it. The important thing is to be open to receiving it. This isn't about passivity. It's about opening up and taking action without despair. It's about moving forward without tension or hesitation. Remember that abundance is already present in life. The universe already offers it. The question isn't whether abundance is available. The real question is, are you willing to receive it without fear? Here's a practical exercise to help you reprogram your thoughts. The most important thing is to be open to receiving it. This isn't about passivity. It's about opening your heart and being ready to embrace the world with open arms. You don't have to worry about whether abundance is available. The important thing is to be willing to receive it without fear. Here's a helpful exercise to help you do just that. This exercise is designed to transform fear into trust. It's about aligning your mind and body with the frequency of abundance. It's not about deceiving yourself with empty statements. It's about recalibrating your mind so that you can recognize the truth that you are already sustained in everything. One way to do this is to choose a fear that limits your abundance. Close your eyes and, hey, friend. A fear in trust is here to help you transform fear into inner certainty. It's about aligning your mind and body with the frequency of abundance, not by deceiving yourself with empty statements, but by recalibrating your mind so you can recognize the truth. You are already sustained in everything. For now, just choose a fear that limits your abundance. Close your eyes and ask yourself, in what area of my life do I feel shortage or insecurity? What is the belief behind this fear? How do my decisions and my form of receiving? Do not try to change the answer. Just observe it with honesty. Your mind must recognize what has been operating in your system before you can transform it. Transmute the physical sensation of fear. Fear is not just a thought. A vibration stored in your body. You might feel what part of you. Manifester is in your chest, in your throat, or in your stomach. It could be pressure, oppression, or a vacuum. Place your hand on that area and breathe deeply with each exhalation. Imagine releasing that energy and allowing it to dissolve. You can declare a new code of trust, and your mind will respond to it. Your mind will then formulate a new truth that replaces fear. You know, it's not enough to say, I have abundance. You've got to feel it in your heart. Use words that really speak to you. Here are some options that have worked for me. I am sustained by life in all moments. What I need flows towards me easily. I trust that the universe provides in unexpected ways and in perfect ways every day. I open more to receive without resistance. Repeat it aloud 3 times with intention, not as a plea, but as a statement of something. That's great news, you've already reached 4. Now, let's seal the new frequency with an action. Remember, physics must be anchored in the action to show your mind that you've truly released the fear. A small act of trust can be really powerful. You can donate a symbolic amount of money without fear of losing it. You can also seize an opportunity without analyzing it excessively. And you can express gratitude for something that hasn't arrived yet, as if it were already part of your life. I know you have a lot of good things in your life, and you trust that abundance will come to you easily. Imagine a warm, steady feeling of certainty deep in your body. Let yourself feel at ease and know that you are safe. If you feel any doubt, just let it go. You can do this. The more you repeat this process, the more your mind will change. It's important to keep your thoughts positive and believe that abundance is always flowing. Imagine you're sitting in a comfortable chair, breathing deeply and letting go of any worries. Picture a warm, steady light inside you, knowing that fear can dissipate when you trust. Keep repeating this process, and remember that consistency is key. Choose to feel secure over fear. When you feel abundance, it's a sign that you're on the right path. Chapter 6, The Science of Vibration and the Law of Attraction. The universe is like a friendly companion, responding to the energy you put out. It's not a fun of empty promises or supplications. Instead, it's all about the vibration pulse that starts in your heart and reaches a frequency that's quiet and peaceful. That comes before thought, to the certainty or the doubt that underlies each request. Everything in the universe is a vibration, from the stars to the tiniest particle. Everything moves in its own rhythm and on its own frequency. The ancients knew this and expressed it in many ways. In the Kabbalah, the verb was the bridge between the invisible and the manifested. In the Hermetic tradition, the before we think, there's a feeling. And that feeling is the basis of everything. It's like a vibration that goes from the stars to the tiniest particle. Everything has its own rhythm and frequency. The ancients understood this and expressed it in different ways. In the Kabbalah, the verb was the bridge between the invisible and the visible. In the Hermetic tradition, the principle of mentalism said that the mind and the subject were not opposites, but reflections of the same essence. Vibration can't attract what doesn't exist. You can't claim abundance from the frequency of lack or manifest love from the vibration of fear. Vibration is the hidden key behind all creation. Awareness is the field where possibilities sleep, waiting to be awakened. The beautiful thing about resonance is that it's all about connection. Most of us have lost touch with our own vibration. We recite our wishes without feeling, ask without believing, affirm without being aligned with what we're saying. We repeat words like enchantments without realizing that our energy contradicts our intentions. The universe just reflects our true vibration, not our words. So, let's raise our vibratory frequency, shall we? Frequency is all about going within to find the answers you're looking for. It's about tuning into your heart's rhythm before the evidence is all around you. It's about feeling the fullness of life before it's actually there. It's a change in essence, not just in how you express yourself. Even if you're playing a beautiful melody, it might not sound right if you're not in tune with your energy. Energy is all about being, not about doing. You know how sometimes you feel like you need something, and it's like you have to be in sync with it. Well, that's what it means to resonate. Silence is one of the most powerful tools for raising vibration in the noise of repetitive thought, anxiety, and obsession. When the vibration is fragmented, but in stillness, the soul is re-energized, and that activates reality. Every emotion is a field. Vibratory fear is like a little ball of energy that moves around, sometimes getting stuck in dense stuff and making us feel blocked. But when we open our hearts to gratitude and certainty, it's like we open doors without even trying. It's like magic when we see coincidences happening, because they are showing us that love is the most powerful force in the universe. When we feel that love, it's like everything just flows together, and resistance just disappears. It's like the demonstration becomes a celebration, and we're all in it together. Vibratory fear is like a ball of energy that just keeps rolling and rolling, pushing through all that heavy stuff to reach a place of pure openness. It's like a vibration that's so strong, it's almost magical. Love, in its purest form, is like the ultimate harmony of the universe. When the vibration goes up, it's like everything just flows naturally, like a beautiful dance. It's not about waiting for something to happen, but about being the magnet that attracts all the good stuff. In the Kibble Lion, there's a sense of everything just flowing, like a beautiful symphony. There are no limits, just different frequencies that we haven't quite reached yet. In this infinite vibration, there's just one question: what frequency are you on right now? Everything you experience in this moment is a reflection of that. Flow naturally isn't about waiting, but being. It's not about attracting something, but becoming its magnet. In the Kibble Lion, there's nothing said, everything moves. There are no limits, only frequencies that we haven't yet achieved. And in that infinite vibration ocean, there's only one question: what frequency are you resonating with in this instant? Everything you experience in this moment is the result of a frequency you've been vibrating at. There are no accidents or coincidences, only correspondences. If you look around you, you'll see a reflection of the energy you've sustained constantly, of the vibration that emanates from the deepest part of your being. The universe doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you fear. It only responds to the moment is the result of a frequency with which you have been vibrating. There are no accidents or coincidences, only beautiful, meaningful connections. If you look around you, you will see a reflection of the energy you have sustained and the vibration that emanates from the deepest part of your being. The universe does not distinguish between what you want and what you fear, it responds to the vibration that predominates in you. If your energy is loaded with scarcity, you will attract circumstances that reinforce that feeling. If your frequency is infused with confidence, life will respond with opportunities that reflect that security. But it is not enough to understand this intellectually. It is necessary to live it, to feel it, to align with it. It is not enough to repeat. If you're feeling scarcity, you'll attract circumstances that reinforce that feeling. If you're feeling confident, you will be open to opportunities that reflect that security. But it's not enough to understand this on an intellectual level. You have to live it and feel it. It's not enough to repeat statements if the emotion that accompanies them continues to vibrate. If you're feeling doubt, it's not about giving up, mind, but rather reprogramming your frequency to raise your vibration. The first step is to recognize the state you're in. Observe your energy in this moment. Do you feel calm or restless? Do you trust or feel concerned? Don't limit yourself to words in your body, your breathing, or your tension. Hey, friend is with Karen. If you're feeling heavy and way down, don't worry. It's totally normal to feel this way sometimes. But here's the good news, you don't have to stay in that space. If you're feeling scared or anxious, just remember that you're not alone. You don't have to fight these feelings. You can choose to shift your focus from feeling inadequate to being grateful. Let's redirect our energy and focus on the positive instead of the negative. If you're feeling stuck in a cycle of fear or anxiety, know that you're not alone. It's important to remember that your vibration doesn't need to change anything external. You don't have to wait for reality to give you a reason to feel good. Your vibration doesn't follow the circumstances, you create them. You have the power to decide on a higher frequency right now. It's not about pretending or suppressing your emotions, but about choosing consciously in what state you want to be. Take a deep breath and feel your body. Hey, let's take a moment to picture this, everything you desire is already within reach. It's not just about wanting it, but about having the confidence that things are working out for you. Imagine a universe that's always ready to support you, responding to your energy with ease. Now, ask yourself, did you know that what you want is already yours? I'm here to help you feel and act the way you desire. I've come to understand that the key is all in how you see things. The vibration doesn't expect, anticipate, or plead. Decreter doesn't go, trust, or the alignment state. The universe doesn't have an answer. Check out Chapter 7 for some great tips on how to focus your mind on what you want and not on what you fear. Attention is the seed of all manifestation. If you focus your mind on it, you will be able to feed it with energy and fix your inner gaze. You might have heard that the universe doesn't respond to human judgment. But that's not entirely true. What the universe really responds to is the vibration that comes from our thoughts. So, if you're worried about losing something, the universe is going to attract that vibration. And if you're someone who doubts love, the universe is going to attract that vibration. But if you're worried about scarcity, the universe is going to attract that vibration. The universe doesn't respond to fate being cruel. The universe responds to our consciousness. Inner gaze. You might think there are no exceptions, whether you want them or not, whether you love them or fear them. The universe doesn't respond to the duality of human judgment, but rather to the vibration that emanates from every thought sustained for a certain period of time. Those who fear loss are attracted to it. Those who doubt love are attracted to it. Those who care about scarcity are attracted to it. The universe acts not because fate is cruel, but because consciousness is a field that germinates any seed that receives it. The problem is not that people do not think about what they want, it's that they make it trapped in the shadow of fear of not obtaining it. Each thought is a decree, but few recognize the pronounced words of desire. While your energy is anchored in the lack, they ask for abundance. While they feel anxiety about their debts, they look for love. While you're feeling resentful towards the past, believe that the universe listens to words, but know that the vibration behind them is what truly provides answers. Imagine your mind like a lantern in the middle of the night, illuminating the path ahead. If you feel like there's a scarcity, the darkness can feel endless. But if you focus on the possibility, you'll see that it's not the reality that changes. The way you choose to look at things is up to you. It's all a matter of focus. We've all been taught to be doubtful, to worry, and to expect the worst. But here's the good news, your mind is not set in stone. It can be trained, refined, and molded to vibrate in harmony. The secret to manifestation is all in the repetition. You have to keep on thinking about what you want and stay hopeful. It's the consistency that creates real results and helps you stay on track to achieve your dreams without worrying about what might happen if you don't see the results right away. When you believe in yourself and your vision, even if you don't see all the evidence, you have the power to make it happen. Pay attention to your thoughts and you will see the world differently. If you focus on what you don't want, you will keep seeing it. Here's not about denying the world, but about creating the life you want to live in the here and now. As the old writings say, your heart is the key to your life. Hey, just a friendly reminder that this isn't something that happens in the future, but rather in every thought that's right now. So, instead of asking yourself what you want, ask yourself where you're focusing your attention. Here's a helpful little exercise you can try. Pay close attention to the present moment and focus your energy on your goals instead of on what might go wrong. The key is to break the habit of doing things automatically and make a conscious choice. When you're thinking about the future, you're not thinking about the present. So, the question isn't about what you want, it's about where you're focusing your attention right now. This simple exercise is all about shifting your focus from what you don't want to what you do want. It's about taking control of your thoughts and vibing with the reality you want to create. Here's how it works. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on in my mind today? Ask yourself, am I aligning my thoughts with what I want or with what I fear? When I think about what I want, am I feeling certain or anxious? Let's work together to adjust the vibration to match the reality you want to create. Take a moment to notice your thoughts and feelings. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Ask yourself what you've been focusing on. Today, my thoughts have been all about what I want or what I'm afraid of. When I think about what I want, I feel uncertain or anxious. Don't try to change anything on your own. Look at your consciousness. It's the first step to redirect your mental focus. 2 negative thoughts at a time. Correct every time you detect a fear, thinking, lack, or doubt. Imagine that it is a passing cloud in the heaven of your mind, not to get you there. Leave it, then make an immediate change of vibration. Saying aloud, this is not what I choose to create. My energy aligns with what I want. Immediately direct your attention. Imagine your wish already coming true. Don't worry about the process. Just let yourself feel the joy of your wish. This will help you stay positive. Pick a word, image, or symbol that represents your wish. Think of a word like abundance, love, or peace, or a specific image that makes you feel good. Put this symbol somewhere you'll see it often, or repeat it whenever you start to feel worried. Let it be a point of return, a lighthouse that reminds you. Vibration, correct 4 reaffirms with an action. Consciously, every day, take action by taking small steps to reaffirm that you are aligned with your desire. Let's make a habit of coming back here together. Imagine a lighthouse that's always there, a beacon of hope. Every day, take a small step to show that you're on the same page as your heart. It doesn't matter if the big changes are still in the works. What matters is that you remind your mind that you have faith. If you're aiming for more abundance, give without hesitation. If you want to let go of something, do it without delay. If you're seeking success, act from a place of confidence in what you've already achieved. Get physically anchored in the vibration of abundance. Every night before bed, close your eyes and ask yourself, what's the most powerful thing I can do today? Bedtime, ask yourself where your attention went today. If it was on what you want, feel grateful. If it was on what you fear, don't punish yourself. Commit to redirecting your attention tomorrow. This is the most powerful training you can do. Choose one and the other, time in what frequency you want to inhabit, because what you hold in your mind becomes what you hold in your hands. It's important to know how to receive without resistance. The universe is like a river, always moving, but sometimes we build barriers instead of letting abundance flow through us naturally. This can lead to impatience and a need to control every detail. But this isn't about not deserving, it's about a deep-rooted resistance to receiving. So, let's remember that lack isn't reality. OB is just another frequency, not the absence of. It's important to remember that difficulty doesn't equal absence. When it comes to opportunities, it's not about finding a vacuum, but rather about being open to the possibilities that lie ahead. Doubt can be a tricky thing. It's not about lacking the resources, but rather about being so focused on the outcome that it blocks the path to all the other possibilities life has to offer. Our minds are limitless when it comes to what we can ask for in life. Believing that something is difficult to achieve is not the same as having a vacuum of opportunities. It's more like not being able to open up to her. Doubt is the biggest obstacle to receiving. It makes us think that we don't have the resources we need. It also makes us obsessed with the result. There are many ways life can give what the human mind asks for. But we can only see a small part of them because we're so focused on our own way. If we insist on a single path, we're like a ship trying to fit into a narrow ocean. When we say release anxiety for results, we don't mean that we should conform or give up on our desires. It means trusting that the process is wiser than our minds. Tuning is not something that is forced. It's something that I know. In the old Taoist texts, it was said that the river never questions. I'm not afraid because I don't know. When there's a doubt, it's natural to feel that way. But when you find an obstacle, it's like your channel just flows around it. It becomes a part of your dance. The resistance might come from your mind, but when there's abundance, that's when synchronicity flows. It's the language of the universe. It doesn't give you promises, but it gives you signs. You don't need to understand it. Just follow the signs. When anxiety, the answers to your questions are right there, waiting for you to find them. When you feel urgent, you can find the answers without even trying. Life is full of unexpected changes, but you can keep your peace of mind. When you feel despair, it's a sign that something is missing. But when you feel certainty, it's like a door opening, welcoming you in. I don't need to ask, beg, or plead. Just by being myself, I can show you where you belong. I totally get it. Sometimes we get a little carried away because there's so much abundance in the world. It's like, we're always chasing after it, right? But here's the thing, when you let go of trying to control everything and just trust the dance of the universe, you open up a world of possibilities. It's like, everything you want is already on the way, but you might be at the wrong frequency to receive it. A lot of us think that abundance is something we have to work hard for, fight for, and make sure every detail is just right before we can enjoy the gifts life has to offer. But the truth is, there's a deeper, more beautiful reason for that. Don't worry about what they want. It's not that they are not working hard, but rather, they are resisting the idea of what they've requested. Every time you feel anxious or doubt if your desire will come true, it's like trying to tune into a radio station while constantly moving the dial. You can't capture the right frequency that way. The universe isn't in a hurry, but we can be. Yes, impatience is the way the ego tries to control the flow of things. But understanding comes with time. It's important to have patience and trust the process. Just look at nature. It doesn't worry about when its fruits will grow. The sun doesn't worry about tomorrow. It's all about finding the perfect rhythm and staying aligned with yourself. When you're in the flow, life feels so much easier, doesn't it? But when you're trying to get a specific result, you might feel like you're fighting against the energy of resistance. You might say you trust, but in the back of your mind, doubts start to creep in. You're looking for signs, but what you really need is confirmation that things are moving forward. And in that search, you might put up a little invisible barrier between you and what you want. The art of receiving without resistance is simple, really. If you know what you want, it's already yours. How would you like to continue reviewing each detail? Would you prefer to arrive and simply relax, or would you like to let the process unfold naturally? The truth is that what you are looking for already exists and has already been created at the level of vibration. There's no need to worry about that. All you need to do is align with the version of yourself who receives it without effort. When you release anxiety, the results will accelerate, not because you are doing something. You're so different now, and you've finally stopped getting in the way of your own energy. The universe always has the answers. The important question isn't about what you want. It's about whether you can receive it without resistance. Before the material world, you felt abundant. That's a reflection of your conscience. But most of us have been taught to see it the opposite way. We believe that first you have to get something to feel it. Abundance is coming your way, my friend. You'll feel so secure and sure of your success, and you'll experience the certainty of triumph. But, this is just an illusion created by your mind. The world doesn't respond to your wishes, but to the vibration you give off. It's not enough to want to be rich, successful, or full. You have to feel it before it can manifest. It's not about blind optimism or repeating affirmations without conviction. That's just not going to cut it. The material world conforms to energy. What in the world is going on here? How can someone feel abundant when their circumstances show otherwise? How can you feel wealthy without money, trust without full evidence, or guarantees? This is the big difference between those who create their reality consciously and those who wait passively for circumstances to dictate their status. The first step is to understand that abundance is not a figure in a bank account, an object, or an external condition. It is a frequency. The beautiful thing about being is that everything you need always arrives right when you need it. Life is a never-ending source of resources, and what you need is always on its way. The second step is to train your mind to live in that certainty. Just thinking about it isn't enough, you have to make it a habit. Make it the vibration that dominates every thought, and it will help you overcome any feeling of lack that might block your ability to manifest your emotions. Don't you worry, sweetie. Doubt doesn't divert the energy from creation. Emotion is the bridge between the invisible and tangible. It's not enough to visualize what you want to feel it with the same intensity. If it is present, it's not a simple game of mental arithmetic, but rather an adjustment of vibration. The universe doesn't respond to what is said, but rather to what is supported by conviction and internalized. When someone is placed in the state of being, opportunities appear in unexpected shapes, not because reality changes. You know how sometimes things just work out perfectly. Well, that's what happened here. When you let go of resistance, you open the door to abundance. It's not money that creates abundance, it's the feeling of abundance that attracts money. Success doesn't come from trying to be successful. True success comes from within. The world doesn't dictate your vibration dictates the world. So, instead of asking when or what if, ask yourself, how can I feel like I have it now? Here's a little exercise to help you. Hey, friend, I tune into the frequency of abundance before it manifests in your reality. This exercise is all about helping you generate the state vibrational frequency of abundance before it's reflected in your external world. The purpose is to gently align your mind and emotions with the certainty that what you want is already a reality by gently releasing resistance and focusing on the abundance within. Tune into your body with the abundance. Find a cozy place where you can sit undisturbed, close your eyes, and gently focus your attention on your breathing. Hey, don't push yourself too hard. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Imagine that every time you breathe in, you're soaking in this incredible energy of abundance. And don't worry about money specifically. Focus on the feeling of having everything you need. As you release any anxiety, concerns, or resistance, it's like your body is starting to relax, your breathing gets deeper, and this amazing feeling of calm starts to fill you up. These two things are like the emotional counterparts of what you've already received and are now bringing to you. Do you remember when you felt completely full, safe, and satisfied? No matter the reason, that memory brings back that moment with all your senses. What was your posture? What thoughts did you have at that moment? Now, let that same emotion move to the vision of your future. Imagine that you already have what you yearn for, and let the emotion of certainty, relief, and gratitude take over. You don't force it, you just let the sensation grow within you. Take 3 steps back to the present to reinforce this state. Place your hand on your chest and say out loud, I am abundant now, not because I see it outside, but because I feel it inside. My energy is already aligned with all that I wish. To repeat this statement calmly, feeling each word, then let the silence take the place of words and simply remain in that feeling. After this exercise, you will feel the vibration of forbearance in your day-to-day life. Act as if you already have what you want, not from impatience but from the security of knowing that if you want wealth, you walk with the energy of someone who trusts in his prosperity. If you want to succeed, your day will be filled with the certainty that everything is aligned for you. If you want love, treat others with the warmth of someone who is already beloved. The world will reflect your hey, friend. When you hold the vibration of abundance without resistance, the universe responds by giving you your equivalent in reality. The key is not waiting for. Feel abundant right now, so that reality has no other option than to reflect it. Gratitude is a catalyst for complaining. The vibration of gratitude is the master key of manifestation, not because the universe rewards you, but because you are worthy of it. The wreck is like a big brother, keeping an eye on things and making sure everyone's happy. But here's the thing, the energy that flows through the river is also the same energy that opens the doors to abundance. Most of us are living in a state of scarcity without even realizing it. We're so busy focusing on what we don't have that we miss out on all the good stuff that's already there. It's like we're on a never-ending quest to improve and acquire more, but without realizing that the universe is already giving us everything we need. Words aren't the way to go here, it's all about the vibe. When you complain, it's like you're pointing out all the things you don't have, and it takes your energy away from the things you do have. Every time you complain, you're like, hey universe, I'm not happy. That's not the way to think. Instead, try being grateful. That way, you're showing that what you have is enough, that what you get is really valuable, and that life is already great. I'm so excited to share with you this beautiful statement of vibrational abundance. It's not about seeing what's changed, but rather, it's about shifting our perception. The key is not to focus on what's big or obvious, but rather, to embrace the true transformation that happens when we learn to recognize that which hasn't yet manifested as if it's already a part of us. This isn't some mental trick, but rather, it's the beautiful vibration of gratitude that draws to us what we wish for, as mentioned in the Vedic texts. It's easy to recognize the good in others and receive great things in return. The reason is simple: gratitude makes us more aware of the good things around us. When we learn to see the abundance in every detail, we start to feel the positive energy of the universe. It's like the universe is responding to our positive thoughts and actions. So, don't worry about not getting what you want. The problem is not that you're not getting blessings, but that you're not recognizing them. Life is full of abundance and possibilities. It's important to remember that life is unfair. Many of us have forgotten to look with eyes that see. Gratitude is a habit, not a feeling. When we feel grateful, life flows easily. Instead of asking why don't I have what I want, we can simply thank everything that we are, here, and now. Gratitude is a catalyst for complaining. It attracts, multiplies, and expands everything. That kind touch is like the key that opens the doors of abundance. For Lena, it's not just a feeling, it's a vibration, a state of being that connects us to the richness of the universe. Every thought of gratitude is like a little seed planted in the field of creation. While some may plant seeds of scarcity with their words and emotions, they can also sow the seeds of prosperity. Make a simple change in your focus. Take a look around you. What catches your eye? What's missing? What's not quite right? What do you want to change? But remember, there's so much you already appreciate. It's not just for the big, amazing things. Being grateful is a daily practice, a way of seeing the world differently and appreciating what you have. We are so grateful for everything you do. We appreciate the air we breathe because life would be impossible without it. We are thankful for the light of the day entering the window because there are those who yearn to see more of it. We are thankful for the water that flows from a tap because it is a treasure unattainable to many. We appreciate the bed that you held, the roof that provided shelter, and the food that nourished you. No matter how big or small the table is, we should always be grateful for what we have. We should appreciate the shoes that keep our feet warm, the fabrics that cover our skin, the voice that allows us to communicate with others, and every muscle in our body that works tirelessly. We should also appreciate the heartbeat that keeps us alive and the eyelashes that refresh our vision. Finally, we should be grateful for the doors that open, and no matter how big or small, we are grateful for everything you've got. We're thankful for the shoes on your feet, the clothes on your back, the voice that lets you communicate, and every muscle in your body that's been working hard. We are grateful for your heartbeat, which never stops to hold you up, and for each eyelash that refreshes your vision. We're thankful for the doors that open and the ones that close because they've all been part of the journey. We are grateful for the challenges because they've made you stronger. We're thankful for the moments of joy because they remind you of the beauty of life, and for the moments of darkness because they taught you to look for the light. We are grateful for the people around you, for those who love you, and for the lessons you've learned. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the people who have made your journey so rich and full of life. Each experience, whether it brought you joy, taught you something new, or pushed you to your limits, has contributed to who you are today. Your loved ones, those who have stood by you through thick and thin, have played a crucial role in your evolution. Every financial transaction you've made has been a symbol of the energy that flows through your life. The gifts you've given have touched so many lives, and for that, we are truly grateful. The simple act of being alive and having the opportunity to experience all that life has to offer is a gift in itself. When you start to appreciate even the smallest things, it becomes a part of your journey, and that's something to be celebrated. If you're feeling challenged, know that you're not alone. Each person you meet is a part of your journey, and they are grateful for the lessons you've learned along the way. Every currency has its own story, and it's important to appreciate the journey you've been on. Life is full of lessons, and one of the best is to be grateful for what you have. When you start to see the world in a new light, you'll realize that even the smallest things can hold immense value. So, don't worry about having reasons to be thankful. If you're not seeing them, maybe it's because you're not looking. In Chapter 11, we explore the art of intention and how to align with your goals. Every creation begins with an intention, and it's essential to have a clear direction. A well-defined intention is the foundation of all manifestation. If the energy gets spread out, the will gets weakened, and the desire becomes an illusion that's hard to reach. There's still a big difference between just wishing and being ready to receive. To receive is to want to send something to the future. To be ready is to believe in it as if it's already true right now. When someone who just wants to watch his goal from far away sees it, they see it as something separate from their own reality. If you're on the same page as your intention, you'll feel like it's already a reality, like it's already yours. The universe doesn't respond to surface-level desires, it responds to the energy of your alignment. It's not enough to say, I want abundance, I want love, or I want success. You have to vibrate with the certainty that this is already part of your being, because what I understand that when you're in a state of lack, it can make you feel more insecure. But when you're in a state of abundance, it can make you feel more fulfilled. It's like when you're in a state of wanting, and you're not getting what you want. That feeling can make you feel like you're not getting what you want. But when you're in a state of wanting, and you're getting what you want, that feeling can make you feel like you're getting what you want. It's like when you're in a state of wanting, and you're not getting what you want. But when you're in a state of wanting, and you're getting what you want, that feeling can make you feel like you're getting what you want. It's more than just saying what you want. It's like when you're in a state of wanting, and you're receiving what you want. When your mind is focused without doubt, the energy moves without resistance. But here's the trap: many people believe they are already aligned with. When they are feeling anchored in the absence, they might ask for love, but they feel fear around peer rejection in success, or doubt their own value. They might ask for money, but they worry about each expense. They might keep their accounts away from what they say they wish to receive. They must prepare the space. Internal is not just about asking, but also about acting, thinking, and feeling like someone who has already. Receiving is like opening the door before touch, creating space so that it can be filled. The universe doesn't hold on to what's meant to fill, but it can't deliver what isn't ready. So, the question isn't about what I wish for, but whether I'm truly ready to receive it. Chapter 12, Inspired Actions. When the universe guides you to act, creation is like a dance between mind and heart. The universe is like a big, caring friend who responds to the energy you put out there and is always ready to help when you're ready to take action. Sometimes, you just have to let your desires speak, and that's enough to keep things going in the right direction. But here's the cool thing: the universe is like a conversation. You send out a signal, and the universe responds with all sorts of signs and opportunities that make you feel like you're being listened to. The universe is always listening, and it's ready to help you manifest your desires. All you have to do is take that first step, and you'll start to feel the universe's support through signs and opportunities that invite you to take action. There's a big difference between action that comes from inspiration and action that feels forced. When you feel pressured, it's often because you're anxious, worried about missing out on an opportunity, or fighting against the feeling that you're not making progress. But when you're in the flow, it's like you're paddling in a river, going with the current. When you're ready to take action, it's like a warm, natural light that guides you. It doesn't feel like a sacrifice or a burden because you're feeling so clear and certain about what to do next. It might not always be the most logical choice, or the one you had planned, but there's a part of you that just knows what's right. The universe is talking to you. When you're ready, you'll know. You'll feel it in your gut. You'll know when the time is right. Sometimes, it might feel a bit uncertain, like you're not quite sure what's going to happen next. But, if you trust your instincts, you'll see that the universe has a way of working things out. It might show you in symbols, synchronicities, or small moments of clarity. And sometimes, those moments might feel a bit anxious, but that's just your mind trying to prepare you for what's coming. The key is to learn to recognize these moments. Sometimes, a conversation, or even an unexpected event, can give you the answers you've been searching for. Other times, an obstacle might just be a redirection towards something better. It's important to remember that sometimes, an idea, or a thought, just takes time to fully form. In symbols, in synchronics, in small emotions, the anxious mind is evident, but the conscience is aligned. The key is learning to recognize that sometimes a conversation, or sometimes an unexpected event, contains the answer you were looking for. Other times, an obstacle is a redirection towards something better. A recurring thought, an idea that you cannot ignore, a sensation of inexplicable certainty, are clues that the next step is in front of you. Fear and doubt are the biggest blockades for action. Inspired people who expect certainty and absolute before acting rarely take the first step. But when you decide to trust and move, even without seeing all the way, the universe responds more clearly. When you feel a strong sense of certainty about the next step in your journey, it's a sign that you're on the right path. But it's also important to be gentle with yourself and trust that you're not rushing into anything. If you're waiting for that perfect moment to act, you might miss out on the opportunities that come your way. Being in tune with your inner self and being open to the possibilities that arise is key. It's not about acting without thinking, but rather about being present, observing, and feeling when the time is right to move forward. When you're aligned with your actions, they flow effortlessly, and the manifestation of your dreams becomes a natural process. Remember, each step you take is guided by the energy of certainty. Chapter 13 reminds us of this beautiful journey we're all on. When you're ready to move forward, don't just act on your impulses. Take time to listen, observe, and feel when it's time to go with the flow and when it's time to hold back. When you're in sync with your actions, everything flows easily, and manifesting your dreams becomes effortless. Each step is guided by the energy of the chapter, and that's something to celebrate. Don't let the past dictate your future. Many of us have made it our only reference point, going around in circles, repeating the same stories, and attracting the same experiences with different names. We live the same emotions, disguised as new circumstances. We believe we're moving forward, but we're actually just going around in circles. The patterns of the past are like a guiding light, leading us to where we're destined to be. But sometimes, we might feel like we're stuck in a maze, going around and around, repeating the same experiences with different names. It's like we're living in a world designed by our own beliefs, and the universe doesn't give us rewards or punishments. Instead, it's like the universe is a mirror, reflecting back what we're thinking and feeling. If we keep repeating the same patterns of fear, like fear of betrayal or abandonment, it's because those vibes are still there, deep within us. But if we can change our internal vibration, we can break free from the cycle of repetitive behaviors. The universe is like a living, breathing organism, always adapting and changing to reflect our beliefs. If we keep on repeating the same patterns of fear, like feeling betrayed or abandoned, it's not because we're destined to be in those situations. It's because we're holding on to a certain way of thinking. It's not about changing the outside world, but rather, it's about changing the inside. Every time we tell a story, it's born from a common emotion. But identifying with a role that's no longer serving us doesn't really resolve the issue. To break the first pattern, we have to recognize that most of us are living in reaction, blaming the world. It's important to understand that negative experiences don't come from outside. They actually stem from our own internal beliefs and emotions. Every time we tell a story, it's born from a shared emotion. But we often get stuck in pattern of reacting and blaming others, without realizing that we're the ones who keep holding on to the energy of the past. When we look closely at our own story, we start to see the invisible threads that have shaped our experiences. That's when we realize that what we keep repeating isn't just destiny, but our own unique way of perceiving reality. So, rewriting our destiny doesn't mean denying what happened. It's about taking a new perspective and reinterpreting our experiences. You might not realize it, but you're holding on to the energy of the past. When you look at your story, you'll see the threads that have made your experiences what they are. You'll realize that what's repeated isn't destiny, but your own perception of reality. Rewriting your destiny doesn't mean denying what was, but reinterpreting it. It's like taking what seemed like a wound and turning it into wisdom. It's like releasing the identity of the suffering and assuming the identity of the believer. It's like understanding that the past has no power over you in the present unless you continue to give authority to the moment you decide that your story doesn't define you, that the pattern can be broken, and that repetition isn't a law but an unconscious choice. It's the time when the cycle dissolves. If you want to change your reality, first you must change the story you tell about yourself. You can't continue to hold the same identity and expect different results. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that this doesn't happen on the outside. It starts on the inside, and it's all about who you are and why you're here. You've got some great tools to break free from the patterns of the past and rewrite your destiny. One way to do this is to get in touch with who you are and how you talk about yourself. You might see yourself as someone who always has bad luck and can never achieve what they want, but that's not the whole story. It's time to let go of the old you and become the new you. Start by identifying what you're ready to leave behind. It could be a belief, a habit, or an emotion. Then, take a piece of paper and burn or break it into tiny pieces. It's important to understand that your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality. If you're always seeing yourself as someone who's always unlucky and can't achieve your goals, it's time to change that narrative. Instead of focusing on the past, focus on the present. Every day, choose a new version of yourself. When you stop repeating the same story, reality will start to reflect your true self. I understand how hard it is to let go of the past and how it can feel like you're always the one responsible for making changes. But, I've learned that when you declare that you're in a process of transformation every day, you're choosing a new version of yourself. It's like you're creating a new reality, one that's more in line with who you want to be. So, if you're ready to be a new person, try releasing what you no longer need. Do an exercise where you write down everything you're ready to leave behind, whether it's a belief, a habit, or an emotion. Then, when you're ready, burn or break the paper, and let go of the past. If you're ready to embrace a new version of yourself, try this exercise. Imagine a space that's ready to receive your new self. Picture it as a clean slate, free from the old versions of you. Think of what you're ready to let go of, like beliefs, habits, or emotions. Then, with a sense of release, imagine what your new self would do, say, and feel. Picture how you'd move and react in different situations. This is your chance to create the future you've always wanted. When you let go of what you don't need, you create space for new things to come in. Imagine if you were the kind of person you aspire to be. How would you act? What decisions would you make? How would you speak? How would you move? How would you react? Don't wait. When external changes come your way, behave like the person you want to be. The vibration of your unity is always with you, every time you make a decision. Make it from the highest version of yourself, not from the past for energy reprogramming patterns. Use the power of I am and the language that you use to mold your vibration every day. When you're feeling uncertain, start by saying I am and then follow it up with a statement that strengthens your identity. If you keep repeating I am clumsy, I am poor, or I am unfortunate, you're basically telling the universe that that's what you want to experience. But if you say I am the creator of my destiny, I am abundant in all forms, I am free of my past, and I open infinite possibilities, you're opening up a whole new set of possibilities. So, don't just say it or live it. In each cell of your body, the fire test changes your reaction. You'll get opportunities to show that you've really changed in your usual life. If you've always reacted with fear, impatience, or insecurity before certain situations, try a new answer every time you act differently. Don't get stuck in an old pattern. Your reality is not the circumstance. You don't have to change your relationship with her. 6 physical anchors create a symbol of your new identity. Choose an object, a garment, or a gesture that represents the transformation you're living through. A mantra can be ring, position, or body. Remind yourself that you are a new it every time you see or do it. Version, when you're in tune with your inner and outer self. Change without effort to reinvent your identity is not. Becoming someone else is like returning to the most authentic version of yourself, the one that has been hidden under layers of beliefs. Limiting the past is not a sentence, but a script that can be rewritten at any moment. The question is, who decides to be? Starting at 14, your relationship with time and the flow of the universe. Time is the great obsession of the human mind. He is afraid. He pursues you. You try to control time. Life is indebted to whom? Expected that wishes must manifest according to a mental calendar that speed is synonymous with success. However, the demonstration is in tune with the rhythm of the universe, not our human clock. The river flows with the current, and we learn from each moment. Change is inevitable, and it's important to trust the process. An impatient mind might struggle to see the bigger picture or trust the process. It wants to have it all figured out before believing, and it wants the result before trusting. This creates anxiety. The demonstration follows the rhythm of the universe, not our human time. The river is not worried about its course or the stations. When change happens, it's right on time. This is something the impatient mind might not fully grasp. It wants to see the test before believing, to have the result before trusting. In that anxiety, it blocks the reception. Who resists? Who measures time with impatience strengthens the feeling of lack. Who doubts the speed with the belief that something can come a way further away. The real speed doesn't come from rushing, but from being in sync with patience and trust. These qualities accelerate manifestation. Patience isn't resignation or passivity. It's certainty. If you're feeling stuck and want to get unstuck, try blocking the reception. If you're impatient and feel like time is moving too slowly, you might be missing the point. Remember, the real speed doesn't come from rushing, but from things like patience and trust. These qualities can help you manifest your dreams. Patience isn't just sitting around and waiting. It's having the confidence that everything is already on its way. It's not about waiting for something to happen with worry, but about living with the assurance that what you want is already on its way. Many of us think that our lives will change once we get what we want, but the truth is quite the opposite. You have to start by changing your vibration, and then life will start to reflect that change. I know it can be hard to trust, but trust is the most important part of the process. Don't just wait for the results, allow them to unfold. Don't get caught up in doubts and questions. Let go of the need to control everything. Remember, time is an illusion in the mind, but it's real in the physical world. Hey, just a friendly reminder that sometimes, things might feel a bit different because our vibrations are shifting before we receive what we need. It's not about how long it takes, but about letting go and trusting the process. Your energy is in sync with your desires, so let go of the need to control and let the reality unfold. It's important to remember that the desire to be in control can be a trap set by our ego, making us want to decide how, when, and in what way something will be received. But hey, just a friendly reminder that the things you're taking on might feel like they are taking up your time, but it's really about tuning into your desires. Let go of the need to control everything and trust that the universe has a plan. We all have our own unique flow, and sometimes it might feel like we're missing the mark, but that's just because we're exploring all the possibilities. When you feel like you're stuck in a rut, remember that you have the power to shift your perspective and trust that what you've asked for is already on its way. The universe doesn't follow any set rules. You, my friend, are doing great. It's just that sometimes it can feel a bit tricky to understand. When you feel like you're stuck in a rut, remember that you're closing off so many amazing opportunities. It's okay to take a step back and trust that the universe has your back. Life is always working behind the scenes to bring the best things your way. Don't get caught up in the clock. Take a breath, and trust that the process is always happening just as it should. The universe doesn't measure time the way we do. It's always working to make sure that what you want most happens. So, relax, and let the process unfold. You've got this. Quantum physics tells us that life is so amazing at giving us the best version of ourselves. It's like it's already on the way, and we just need to trust that it's going to happen. The universe doesn't work with time, but with vibrations. So, instead of asking when what we want will come, we should just focus on vibrating with trust. Remember, your transformation from mind to life doesn't happen when the world changes, but when we expand our internal identity beyond our past. Life is a reflection of being, and that's something we can always be. When you're working with vibrations, it's not about when something will happen, but about trusting the process. Your chapter 15, your new I transformation from mind to life is happening. It's not about the external world changing, but about expanding your internal identity beyond the limits of the past. It's about reflecting on what you've lived, not about creating a new future with the mind tied to an old version of yourself. Every thought, every emotion, and every belief you hold is a thread that weaves your identity. If you look closely, you'll see that who you are now is a collection of lessons. You're aware, and you have the ability to choose a new way of you've been living in a different reality, and it's time to let go of that old version of yourself. If you want to create a new future, you have to start with the same vibration. Every thought, every emotion, and every belief you hold is a thread that weaves your identity. If you look closely, you'll see that you, the person you've become, is a result of all the lessons you've learned. But you have the power to choose a new way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Then, you can access a new version of yourself. It's not just about imagining a different future, it's about living life to the fullest. Your presence, your vibration, and your certainty in the present are what matter. Embody the best version of yourself. True change doesn't happen when you try to become someone else. Remember, you've always been more than what you've been through. Negative conditioning focuses on the person you want to be, not the self that's filled with doubt and expectations. Instead, focus on the self that already exists in a different reality. Imagine how life feels, how it acts, and how it reacts to challenges. Now, understand this, you need to wait for reality and give yourself permission to. Remember, you've always been this amazing, powerful being. Don't get caught up in the fear and doubt that tries to hold you back. Instead, let yourself be the person you've always wanted to be. Life will be so much better when you start living from that place of authenticity. Give yourself the permission to be the best version of yourself. You've got this. Remember, the highest version of you is already inside you, waiting for you to recognize and embrace it. Just thinking or visualizing a change isn't enough. To truly transform, every thought, every emotion, and every decision should align with the identity you've chosen to embody. Don't just play the role of someone else. Remember that you've always been this amazing, powerful being. You have always had the power to decide who you are. The ancient Hermetic texts teach that the universe does not distinguish between real and imagined, it responds to the vibration that you hold. This means that if you live every day from the energy of yourself, raised reality will have no choice but to reflect it. There is no separation between the mind and matter, you have the power to be your true self. The ancient Hermetic texts teach us that the universe doesn't differentiate between what is real and what is imagined, it responds to the vibration that you hold. This means that if you live each day from the energy of your true self, your reality will be reflected. There is no separation between the mind and matter, the spirit and the action. Your identity is the channel through which the invisible becomes visible, the potential becomes it. I manifest the key to sustaining a high vibratory state in a manner that is permanent. Many of you manage to raise your vibration at times, but then fall back into old insecurity patterns, doubt and scarcity. This is not because change is not real, but because your spirit and your action are the channels that make the invisible visible and the potential real. I'm here to help you sustain a high vibratory state in a way that's permanent. Many of you have raised your vibration at times, but then fell back into old insecurity patterns, doubt, and scarcity. It's not that change is not real, but rather that your mind is trained to go back to what's known. The key is not just to reach a state of elevated vibration, but to live in it. It becomes your new normality, your point of reference. The highest vibration is not a temporary state, it's a decision. Continue every time you doubt, choose between the old version and the high version of yourself. Every time you fear, decide. Your mind is like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. It's not about reaching a super high state, but rather making it a part of your everyday life. The highest vibration isn't a one-time thing, it's a choice you make over and over again. When you're not sure, you choose between the old version and the high version of yourself. When you're scared, you decide if you're going to stick with the past or look to the future. This is the challenge you're facing. You'll be faithful to the high version of yourself, even when reality doesn't match it. If you can hold that energy without needing outside validation, then you've already gone beyond time. The universe doesn't give rewards for waiting, but you get to choose. Do you want to stick with who you used to be, or do you want to grow? It's all up to you. If you can keep that energy and not need anyone else to tell you that you're doing a good job, then you're already doing great. The universe doesn't like it when you wait. It's all about moving forward. Change doesn't happen in the future, it happens right now. It starts from within. It's not about luck. It's about being in sync with yourself. Don't ask when you'll become your best self. Ask yourself, am I ready to be my best self right now? I don't need a sign, proof, or to wait. This is my truth, and I'm ready to embrace it.